but I had this little clip, and I thought you'd find it very interesting. It's the military of the past, let's call it the Trump military, compared to the very woke military that we have now. I think you'll get a kick out of it.
This is good. And it highlights really what's going on with the woke military.
You little scumbag! I got your name! I got your ass! You will not laugh! You will not cry! You will learn by the numbers!
Happy Pride. Happy Pride Month. And actually, let's declare it a summer of pride.
So you're a killer? Sir, yes, sir! Let me see your war face! Sir, you got a war face? Ah! That's a war face! Now let me see your war face! Ah! Bullshit! You didn't convince me! Let me see your real war face! Ah!
Oh my goodness. This is really who's allowed in the military.
You will be a weapon. You will be a minister of death, praying for war. But until that day, you are pukes. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
Oh my God. These people should not be allowed in the military.
Like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up with a brown stain on the mattress.
Oh my God. Discharged immediately.
I love working for Uncle Sam. I love working for Uncle Sam. Let me know just who I am. Let me know just who I am. 1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps. 1, 2, 3, 4,
United States Marine Corps.
So, it's a little exaggeration. Probably really not that much, actually.
Probably not that much. Yes, we know that there are good people in the military, and Trump even knows this because he meets with a lot of them. But this really is what goes on now in the military, especially with the promotion of DEI by this actual transgender, which was promoted within the Biden administration. Disgusting. It's itsSeanDaniel here. Hope you guys enjoyed that great ad that Trump just put out at his recent Trump rally. But we're going to dive into this a little bit more and see exactly what Trump is showcasing that's going on in the military. And what he's showing in this ad is this DEI push, diversity and equity and inclusion, which means what? It gets thrown around. Not everyone knows what that means, so I want to highlight the term. It's a term used to describe policies and programs that promote the representation and participation of different groups of individuals. It encompasses people of ages, races, ethnicities, abilities, disabilities, genders, religions, cultures, and sexual orientation. It's not just utilized by the military, it's also utilized by the Federal Aviation Administration for dealing with airports, flights, but it's also, which that's a whole other thing that's been shown, and Senator Vance has destroyed people on that, but it's also going on in our military. And this DEI system has expanded under President Biden, and in fiscal year of 2023, the Pentagon received $86.5 million for DEI programs, which was up from the $68 million in 2022. For 2024, the Pentagon increased its DEI program funding request even more to $114 million US tax dollars to ensure that we don't have the best of the best in our programs, in our government positions, in our defense positions with the Pentagon, but instead to make sure that we have people like this and people like this in our military, and make sure we have certain people of certain races, of certain mixed, switched genders. And that's why Trump made such a good ad, which I'm sure the supporters in that room absolutely loved. And you have to give credit to Trump for having the balls, and his team for standing up for what's just obvious and what most Americans like yourself agree with. First of all, that this whole transgenderism thing should not be pushed to the degree that it's pushed. It's wrong, first of all. It's evil, it's immoral, and everyone that argues for it is dark. and they're being manipulated by the world. Now, Trump and his team, they know that. They stand for these values, but they also have the balls to deal with the backlash because he's dealt with so much backlash. But it's not just Trump who deals with backlash with this type of stuff. People within government organizations that take a stand against DEI, like the man that we're about to see in this video right here with Trump, they face backlash as well. And it's a lot more harsh backlash, like this man faced right here, because it has to do with the threat of them losing their jobs, and in this case, this man losing his pension because he stood up for the ridiculousness of DEI that was going on in the government. Take a look.
Thank you, Mr. President. We now have time for one last question. So our last question...
Make this a good one.
Our last one comes from Matthew. Matthew? He was an F-15 pilot. I won't hold that against you.
Here, I got it. Mr. President, first off, I want to speak on behalf of everyone here and say thank you for taking time tonight to speak with our troops.
Thank you.
Those atmospheres are amazing. Trump events. You got to go.
We got a lot of good-looking men in this audience, don't we, huh? And a lot of good-looking women also, by the way. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to revisit something you've talked about already. My name is Matt Lohmeyer. I was an Air Force F-15 pilot, and I was a commander in your newly created U.S. Space Force.
Wow.
I am also the first veteran of the Space Force because under the Biden-Harris regime, I was fired from my command and lost my pension for criticizing DEI trainings that were rampant in the military.
Wow. Lost his pension.
Those trainings are still dividing our troops, and thank you for saying you would fire those few woke generals who are a big problem.
They're gone.
I'm going to suggest that it might, in fact, require ongoing oversight and a persistent, consistent, watchful eye within the Pentagon to ensure this monster never returns to the Defense Department. Will you consider establishing a special task force, office, or position to ensure that these monsters never return to the Defense Department?
You know what I'll do? And I'm pretty good at this stuff. Sometimes you get it wrong. I'm going to put you on that task force. I think it's good. Not going to do better than him. I'll put you on. Make sure you give the name. Thank you. Beautiful. Right? I have your approval.
Yes, sir.
I have your approval. We're not going to get better than him.
He's a good-looking man. Look at that man.
100%. Thank you.
And you can see right here the
Of course, I think it's good. Not going to do better than
in his
him.
face. Look,
I'll put you on.
he looks
Make
real
sure you give the
thankful
name. Thank you.
and chilled out right there. Now, do we know if this was a planned question and that Trump wants to do this, something he wants to instill, or was it an impromptu thing? There's a lot of planning that goes into these events, you know, and this type of question. Tons and tons. It's not like this guy just brought this up out of nowhere. So was it planned for Trump to do that, give him the offer? I don't know. It could be, it could not be. Trump is pretty cool and pretty genuine, but they also do plan some great things. That was a great question, and more to highlight the DEI issue that's going on. And look at how Trump turns it around and offers this guy a job to deal with this issue of these generals and these people that are promoting, putting the pressure on everyone to promote this DEI stuff, that we need to hire this type of people, this type of person, over the actually qualified people. And if we have a commander-in-chief like Trump who will take a stand against these liberal, woke, devilish ideologies, we can become strong again as a military. And one example of how Trump uses his strength, not only within his house, within his government organizations, to establish better principles, but he also does it when he's dealing with enemy countries. Let's listen to this clip of Congress Representative Wesley Hunt about how Trump does exactly that.
President Trump looked at the Taliban leader and said this: I want to leave Afghanistan, but it's going to be a conditions-based withdrawal. And Translator translated. And he said, if you harm a hair on a single American, I'm going to kill you. And the translator goes, and Trump goes, tell him.
Translate. Yes.
Tell him what I said.
Tell him what I said. Reached in his pocket, pulled out a satellite photo of the leader of the Taliban's home and handed it to him.
Shut up.
Got up and walked out the room.
Sure did.
Do you know for 18 months not a single American was killed in Afghanistan?
Sure did.
That's the definition of strength. That's what I'm talking about. And so you could imagine that kind of sentiment being around the world. If we have an embassy in another country, no one's going to touch it because they're going to be fearful that they'll get a Moab on their head. That's how President Trump rolls.
Shout out to Sage Steele, the former sports anchor, for having this podcast and having this clip with Representative Wesley Hunt. That is the strength that we need. You think that these people, enemy countries right now, are worried about playing games with America? Hell no. They have a sleeping person in charge of our country. We have a VP who's now running for president that can't even handle being on live TV without a script. Even in the presidential debates, I'm going to guess that she had the questions way beforehand, unlike President Trump. Look at how the liberal media rolls, but also look at all the clips we've seen of her only doing interviews with these super liberal organizations. And even in the 60-minute interview that she just did, how they made all these cuts and edits from her questions. You think that countries are going to be scared of a woman that can't handle speaking on live TV and stumbles and bumbles when she doesn't have a script? Heck no. But with Trump, man, he don't play. And thankfully, he brought to attention this woke military BS that's going on. He's brought it up many other times, but he did it in this funny way to gather some support. Because most Americans like yourself, we don't play with this crap. Especially when it comes to defending our country. Do you think that we want some, I'm going to try to watch my language, some weak, twisted, dark person who doesn't even know what gender they are, and they want to flaunt it on social media, and they get promoted in the military? Nah. We don't want somebody like that in power. We don't want someone like that in our military, and we don't want someone in power that would support those people in our military. And that's why I think most Americans are going to vote for Trump this election. Hopefully he wins. Thanks for watching. It's SeanDaniel here. If you want to see more videos, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.